Tony Abbott, thanks for your time.
Good evening, Brian. Very good to see you.
How are you going selling that budget out there?
Well, it's
a tough sell.
It's not easy, Brian. It's going better in some quarters than in others. If I've observed a pattern so far, it is perhaps that the wealthy, Brian, better understand what we're trying to do here.
I'm sure they do.
A lot of the other people more limited in their understanding, Brian, and I think some of them, frankly, are struggling with admittedly very difficult economic concepts.
Like what?
Well, like losing their jobs, for example.
And their taxes are going up.
Which is very regrettable. We absolutely hate doing this.
Did someone say that at the party afterwards?
After the budget?
Yep.
Brian, we spoke of little else at the aftermatch function.
And people will be paying more for their health, more for their education.
Well, they will, Brian, and a lot of them take the view that they've already paid for these things.
They won't like that, will
they? They don't like it, Brian. They think they've already paid for it.
Well, they paid their taxes all their
That's
life.
right,
Now you're selling the stuff they own and charging them more for the things they need.
You're still talking about the discourse at the aftermatch function? Or have you...
No, the other people.
The other people. Yes, Brian. Well, I was talking to a bloke this morning, Brian. Nice enough fellow, perfectly reasonable looking, had a nice dog. He thought it was all social engineering.
He's just ignorant.
Just ignorant, Brian.
Really, yeah.
He's just a fool.
Now, on a practical level, how are people reacting to having to pay more for petrol?
Well, what people have got to understand, Brian, and what we're trying to get them to understand is that what we're doing here is that we're building a better country. This is a great nation, Brian.
It is a great nation.
Country,
it's a great nation.
And we're building a better one.
Now, the reason I ask about the petrol excise is that it's an indirect tax, isn't it?
It is, Brian. That's why it's equitable, and that's why we've increased the excise.
Yeah, well, this begs the question whether you're going to raise the GST or not.
Well, Brian, that is a question that we would be looking at separately.
So you've got no intention of doing that?
Of doing that, Brian? We're going to do it separately, Brian. What I'm saying is we're looking at
why wouldn't you do it?
Well, we are going to be doing it, Brian.
Well, why not? Why won't you be looking at it? I mean, it's the biggest source of indirect tax.
It is. It's the biggest source of indirect taxation that a government can have. Of course we're looking at it.
If you starve the states of funding, they'll come and petition you to raise it, and you can give them some more money.
Brian, let me be very clear about this. Raising the GST is not the plan.
I thought so. So when will you be doing that?
We're not going to be doing it, Brian. We are not going to be doing it.
Oh, really? That soon?
Brian, we're not going to be doing it. This is not what we're going to do.
Is that a promise?
Yes, Brian, it's a promise.
Well, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Can you get me a cab, please? Yeah, I know I said I had a car, but I don't. Well, they're both true.